Are you surprising yourself a little bit on any level with just how some of this has gone, or how different the story seems to have shifted from what you guys went through the first 6 months of the year?
No. We just needed, the ups and downs prepared us for these moments. They prepared us for, going 11-3 in the postseason. Still having a great opportunity to go further in this playoff run. So for us, it's not shocking because y'all not around, but y'all don't see the work that a lot of guys put in, and, it's speaking volume right now in this postseason. So for us, I don't believe it's a surprise or a shocker.
Hey, my guy Bam. To speak on that video, I'm not gonna go first, but just to mention something on that video, Jimmy said early. He said early in the season, he was asked a question after the game. And they asked him, "Well, what more can you do this week?" He said, "Win a championship." They're one win away from being in the finals. He got laughed at, and now they're here. So, shout out Miami. So Carl, do you think if Miami wins this, will it be the best playoff run since Dirk Nowitzki in 2011?
All right, here's another question that I pondered in my head, right? Because that Dirk run was incredible. Beat the Kobe Lakers, beat KD and Harden, Russ, Thunder, and they beat the Spurs, right? Beat all three. Then beat the Heatles, but it was their first year together.
They played the Trailblazers.
Huh?
It was the Trailblazers, Lakers, Thunder.
Oh no, you're right. They played Brandon Roy and them. You're right. First round. You're right. You're absolutely correct. They did play Brandon Roy and them. They did play, I think the Lakers was the Western Conference Finals, and I think
it was Trailblazers, Lakers, Thunder.
Okay.
Yeah, they played the Thunder in the conference.
Yeah, I was about to say because I started to remember the Thunder Lakers. Not Thunder, Thunder Spurs series. Jesus. All right, boom, cool, right? So they beat Trailblazers. They beat the Lakers. That's the game where Lamar Odom, I think, Game 5, had an open layup and blew it, right? Because he was thinking too much. I think that was that series. And then you said the Spurs. I think I do remember that. I mean, not the Spurs, the Thunder. But then I got to look at the degree of difficulty of Miami. You lose to the Hawks in the play-in. You're down 5 with 6 minutes left against Chicago, but you're at home and you win that game. Then you go against the number 1 seed in Milwaukee. Now, again, not to sound malicious, Tyler Hero gets hurt, but I think that was a blessing in disguise, like Dave said. But Giannis gets hurt. But before Giannis gets hurt, Jimmy Butler has 14 in that first quarter. That's what a lot of people don't talk about. And they were up double digits, yes, but Jimmy had 14 in the first. You beat the Bucks 4-1, the best team some considered in the East. I know Joe didn't consider them the best team in the East. Cool. Then you go on to the Knicks. You had a lot of people in the chat pick the Timberland boots, but they lose. They beat the Knicks. Then you go to what a lot of people consider the best team in the NBA. I know Ja Morant said that's the only team he had troubles with, and now they're up 3-0 against considerably the best team in the league, and they're doing it in dominant fashion. If they can then beat Denver, who was the number 1 seed overall in the league, had an MVP candidate. Some people feel like he should have won it. He's a 2-time MVP. Like I said, the best duo right now currently in the league. If they can beat them, I think this is the best playoff run that I've seen. To beat 2 number 1s, a number 2, and a number 5, and you were the 8th seed coming into this game. A lot of teams wrote you off. I mean, not a lot of teams. A lot of people wrote y'all off. This has to be one of the greatest runs I've ever seen in my life.
I gotta agree with you. Literally, you stole all my notes, bro. That was exactly what I was gonna say. The degree of difficulty in which the Heat had to get to where they are. If they do get to the finals and they knock off the Denver Nuggets, now I'm gonna add from what you all say, the best duo. You got to give it to him, bro. You got to give it to him. And Carl, you also got to concede to say that Spo is the best coach in the NBA right now. You have to say it right now because right now. Sorry, no. No, you have to say it's Spo because of this. Everything you just named, they were an 8th seed. They dealt with injuries. This team has 7 undrafted players. People literally wrote them off. You can say people and teams. You can say some teams because I'm guaranteeing that the Knicks tried to write them off. They was like, this is easy money. And they ended up like that. Lost.
Julius Randle.
That's what happened. So to get here, and you beat one of the best teams in the league, 1 through 12, as we were saying all year. They can beat you in so many ways. The Celtics can do this, the Celtics can do that. And right now, the Celtics look like they can't even tie their shoes. Now you go up against Denver and Malone, who's giving everybody's giving him his props as far as what he's doing, his coaching, and that duo and how he got all his role players playing. They go over there and they beat them in almost a similar fashion in which they've been playing the rest of these teams. You got to give Spo some props.
Yeah. I give him his props. He's definitely top 3 coach in the league. No question.
No, he better than Curry.
Top 3.
No question.
Top 3, not me. He number 1. Go ahead, Dave.
He won. Yeah, I think that's without question. This would be the most difficult since then. Not the most difficult in history, but since then, this is definitely the most.
Stop the cap.
Because I mean, Dirk beat the big 3 in Miami in the finals, beat OKC with Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. Then went on, it swept Kobe, and beat Portland. That's one of the. And Dirk was the only All-Star on his team at that time. The only All-Star on this team right now is Bam Adebayo.
And like you said, he was a replacement All-Star.
He was a replacement. And he's not even the best player on his team. Jimmy is, without a doubt, the best person on the team. And Jimmy's not a superstar, and neither is Bam Adebayo. That's what everyone has been saying. I think if Jimmy wins the title and wins the Finals MVP, you got to call him one now.
Yeah.
Because it's a Finals MVP at the end of the day. I mean, they call Kawhi a superstar. He doesn't have a regular season MVP, but he has 2 Finals MVPs. So, but I mean, yeah, I mean, like Carl said, we beat the Bucks in 5 games. Yes, like this, I understand that Giannis had went down, but I mean, Jimmy also got hurt he got hurt in game 2. Or was it game 3? He got hurt in one of those games. And
game 2 against the Knicks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was game 2 against the Knicks. He got hurt, and no, he didn't play in game 2.
Yeah, he got hurt in game 1, but he didn't play game 2.
Yeah, that's
he
right.
finished game 1, and he was just a decoy at the end of the game.
That's
true. He didn't play game 2.
That's true. But we still beat them. We were up double digits in that game against the Bucks when Giannis was out there in game 1. Yes, I understand he missed 2 games, but he came back and still had a Giannis kind of game, and they still lost. Jamie went crazy. And then round 2, beat the Knicks. I mean, I guess the Knicks is the only series where you're like, Miami should win that. They were favored to win that series, so I give you that. But, I mean, if you look at that, that's pretty much almost the same as Portland. Portland was the Knicks. That's pretty much it right there. But you beat the top 2 seeds in the East. You're the 8th seed. And then you go beat the number 1 seed in the West in the finals. You would have to give it to them. You would have to give it the most difficult or the best playoff run since 2011 with Dirk Nowitzki. I don't think there's any other argument with that. Toronto,
yeah, I want to talk about teams that got lucky. The shot, luck.
Yeah,
I've never seen a ball bounce like that.
And then you had
they couldn't even control the ball the way it was moving.
Then you had Clay and Katie get hurt in the finals.
And you had Joel Embiid miss games because of tummy aches.
Yeah, so
yeah, nah.
I think Miami is better. I think this is better. Yeah, we're not a real AC, but that's where we are.
The play-in made them an 8 seed. I mean, technically, you want to be honest, they was a 7 seed, but the play-in made them an 8.
Technically, we were a 7 seed.
The comment that Joe said was even Spo said they're not a real 8 seed, but that's why I named it in my soliloquy, Joe, about them dealing with injuries throughout the season, because that's why they ended up at 8 seed. They were dealing with injuries.
Well, they ended up a 7 seed and then lost to the Hawks in dominant fashion, by the way. Got blown out, and that's how they became an 8 seed.
I'm just talking about throughout the season. That's what Spo said. You know, the coach was there.
Yeah,
The
but
best coach in the league right now.
I just want to address it, Dan, real quick, because he keeps talking about the Knicks series. I mean, the Knicks had, what, 2 guys averaging 24, 25 points a game. Josh Hart was averaging, what, 11, 12, big spark off the bench. It was at one point, they was
And he
like,
was
the
giving
Knicks
you
been
like 6 or
undefeated
7
since.
rebounds too.
Yeah, and it was at one point, then they were saying, oh, the Knicks been undefeated since trading for Josh Hart. Like, that was a narrative being pushed. So I don't like the fact that we're trying to minimize what the Knicks were coming into the series, because just to down the Heat's win, like, I don't think that's cool. But I mean, I guess you could, but I think that's more so because Julius Randle in the playoffs has been horrendous while they were favored.
And it's
I
the
think
Knicks.
that's the reason.
I don't think anyone really believes in the Knicks. The Knicks weren't favorites to beat the Cavaliers either.
No.
But that was a 4-5, so I can get that more than an 8-5. But
Yeah,
I just don't like the fact that we're trying to minimize them to try to minimize the Heat playoff run, because it's still incredible. And Jalen Brunson had an amazing series. I think he went for 40 twice.
yeah.
In one game they won, one game they lost.
Yep.
And back to one more thing to the Bucks series. The Bucks were one historic 3-point shooting game. I don't know if it's actually history, but it just looked like it in game 2 from getting swept. If they don't have that game 2 where they could not miss nothing from 3, they would have been swept.
Yeah, that's true. So I think I don't think there's an argument there, but other people would disagree. Mainly Joe, because he thinks Toronto had the better run, but I feel like they got a little luckier than what we got. We only had one injury for real. So.
If people want to do this whole discrediting thing, then you got to do it to Toronto. I don't like it. I only did it because a lot of people be doing it. They be like, "Oh, the Warriors got lucky. They lost. Every team they went against, they starting point guard got hurt. Oh, Giannis got lucky. The season started early and all this blah blah blah. Oh, the bubble don't count. So if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna try to minimize people's rings, you got to do it to Toronto too. I don't like it, but if you're gonna do it, you have to do it.
If you gotta do it, then you gotta do it for everybody. Then
yeah,
we can go all the way back to y'all favorite player.
Because you can always nitpick something.
And like I said, we were a playing team. We were supposed to be the 7th seed. We got blown out by the Hawks and barely beat Chicago in the last playing game. So at the end of the day, we ain't supposed to be here, but we here. So, Miami, come on, Joe.
I just want to know, like, what? Never mind. Let's wrap this up because I want to say, what are you trying to discredit with this Miami run? Because literally the only thing that happened was Giannis going down those games. Outside of that,
and it's not like Giannis didn't play again. He came back.
He put up 38 game 5 and still lost.
Exactly.
And that's literally just one blemish if you want to talk about the actual run. Because right now they're going up against a fully healthy Celtics team.
Yes, he was still hurt, but we had 2 players go down in the same game.
And this is another thing, right? So normally when the team is supposed to be a high seed, they get the lowest. They get the lower seed so it can be easier. They had to go against top talent. You think a 1 want to play a 2 or first round? No, they would love to play a 7 seed. So that makes this even harder because they got to go against 1s and 2s earlier than a 1 and 2 would have to go against a 1 and a 2. If that makes sense to y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not slighting the injury. I'm not saying it wasn't big. I wasn't saying it wasn't huge for us. But at the end of the day, it's not like it's not like he missed the entire series. He came back.
So what's the excuse for the Knicks then? Why they didn't beat the Heat when Jimmy went down?
They did.
Emmanuel quickly got hurt.
No, that game was close. Do you know how close that game was?
It was close, but they still
won.
They're
supposed to win that series, right? They should have won that series because that's what Miami did. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. So you can look at it. You can look at the glass half empty or half full. It depends on how you want to look at it. But at the end of the day,
we have
score is the end score.
That roster is completely different from the bubble roster.
Completely different. And there are only 4 players left from that. No, it's more than 4. There are 5.
It's about 4. Hero.
No, it's 5. It's 5. Hero, Butler, Robinson, Bam, Gabe Vincent. Vincent was there.
Gabe Vincent was on. Haslam was there too, though.
He don't count, man.
He was on the roster, man.
Well, but come on. Come on.
Look, man, ever since y'all changed y'all bench to the Haslam, y'all been winning. So, hey, teams out there, if you want to win, make sure your team is fully.
Well,
all in.
it's not officially the Haslam yet. He's still on the roster. He's still playing right now, so it's not the Haslam yet. It'll be the Haslam once the season ends. So that's all it is. Great show today. Appreciate you. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.